why the cricket has been thriving in India and not other games like hockey? Why the cricket has been thriving and prospering in India, and why not the hockey, kabaddi, or football? Only cricket is like prospering in India.
Well, I beg to differ with you, because if you see other games also doing extremely well now, if you see in the last at least 7-8 years, I think kabaddi is doing well. Then hockey, if you see in Odisha with the World Cup, we hosted a lot of matches, big games. Hockey is doing well now. I think other games also doing well. Um, and of course, we have got medals in Olympics now. So other games are doing as well, I would say. I think they have started with zonal now.
They are starting with zonal.
They have started already.
Okay.
Last season onwards.
Okay, that is the ideal format.
That's the ideal format, because what happens is, and if they have green, blue, and red, whatever these teams are, there has to be a sense of belonging, and these players are picked by selectors. But what happens in zonal system, that those who have done well for the state are picked. They may be older cricketers, and you can learn from older cricketers. But when you are playing is green, red, and the blue, they are picked by selectors. So there are no older cricketers. Say there are cricketers who are fringe players who would play for India soon. But if you want to learn, you can learn from the experienced guys, those who have played the game, those who have done well. So their advice also is very important. So they can learn, and of course, sense of belonging. You know, I'm playing for West Zone, I'm playing for North Zone, I play Central Zone. I'm not playing for a green team or a blue team or a red team.
Yeah, Mr. Vengsarkar, here. Jasprit Bumrah has just made a comeback to the Indian ODI team after injury. Do you think it's fair for him to straight away get into the national team, or like we have seen in the past, players who are coming back from injury be playing in the domestic matches, prove their fitness, and then get into the national team? Your take on this, please.
To be honest, I think it's up to selectors, because they know, because we have got physios, we got trainers, and the reports also very important. Of course, match fitness is match fitness, but the selectors are the best people to judge who is fit, who is match fit, who is not match fit.
Dilip, now the Ranji Trophy is going on. Are you happy with the format, and especially Bombay Prapan? Last two matches against Saurashtra, we lost outright. Against Tamil Nadu, we took a 337 lead, and in spite of that, we couldn't score a win. So what is your take on this and the format of Ranji Trophy, the way it is played now?
Well, you have opinions on the formats, because I got my different opinion on format, because I would like to have at least 10 best teams in elite group, and the rest, because I think Sikkim got out, they got out for 6 runs. I mean, that should not happen, basically, so I will pick the best teams in elite group and in the plate, because domestic cricket is what I think there should be easy transition into Test cricket. But if you are playing with everybody, then it becomes difficult to improve. But if you are playing with good sides, then you have to raise the bar, and you have to play really well. And if that happens, then when you play for India in international cricket, there is easy transition. That is very important. The transition is very important.
Another question.
There should not be a gap between international cricket and first class cricket.
Another question related to Ranji Trophy only. Is the board giving enough importance to Ranji Trophy compared to IPL and other tournaments? The first class cricket, I meant to say.
Yes, of course. I think they are given dates. I think they start the month of November, and they have the best time when they play. IPL is played only, I think, for 6 to 7 weeks now, and that happens only in the month of April and May.
And what about the Bombay performance? Last 2 matches, I was there, both the matches. Bombay matches against Saurashtra, we lost outright, even though the Unarkat was not there. Against Tamil Nadu, we took 337 lead. they put up 550 runs. So is that performance enhancing or it is depressing for Bombay? Bombay was full side compared to.
Well, of course, Mumbai is always close to our heart, and we want them to do extremely well, and we want them to win all the time. But other teams, they have caught up. They're doing very well. I think it's no more that the Mumbai team is there, so I think we have to be very careful. Those days have gone now. Other teams are really doing well. They also have the infrastructure. They also get the grants, and they have built grounds, they build stadiums, and they build good wickets. So in the olden days, the players, for smaller states, they used to come to bigger states like metros to get experience and exposure. Now they can stay there and still can play good cricket and play for India. And there was a captain from Ranchi who did extremely well. In the olden days, they were captains only from big four metros. And the cricket basically was played in big four metros. Now it is played all over India. It is played all over India.
That's a good sign in a way that
It's a fantastic sign, yeah.
Yeah, that Bombay is not the only team that's winning the Ranji Trophy. That's a good sign in a way for Indian cricket.
See now, if you see why Mumbai cricket is not the same anymore, because there is so much international cricket being played these days. So those international players, they don't get time to play even first class cricket. I'm not talking about club cricket. Actually, when I played for Mumbai, when I played for Dadar Union, I could play with test cricketers for my club. At the age of 15, I was playing with test cricketers. So the improvement, I think, was quicker. But nowadays, I think they are so busy playing international cricket. So forget about playing club cricket. They don't play. They don't get chance, to play in first class cricket.
One point that you mentioned when we were chatting downstairs was that coaching sometimes gets too technical, and there's too much detail and too much analysis. And you said cricket is a simple sport. So is this something that you're going to tell or communicate in some form to?
See, that's my personal opinion.
Right.
See, I believe in guiding players. I don't believe in coaching players. If we're going to coach players, then the player is not good enough. Every player has got aptitude. That is why he's playing cricket. Everybody has his own technique. I have my own technique. You have your own technique. This guy has his own technique. How you adapt to different conditions, different situations is up to you, and that depends not only on skill but on your mental maturity. So I always believe that the players who can adapt quickly, who can improvise, is what matters to me. And see, what happens is, if you're coaching these guys, then they lose their natural ability. I believe, again, that those coaches, those who have done level 1, 2 or 3 course, whatever, it's a good knowledge to get. It's a good knowledge to get. But it's more important how to implement and when to implement it. आज तुम्हाला सांगितलं की बाबा मला हेच शिकवलं, आता मी तुला तेच शिकवीन, ह्याला काय अर्थ राहत नाही. You must know how to implement it, and when to implement. आता आज चंद्रकांत पंडित की तो कसा मॅच जिंकवतोस, तू काय सांगतोस बॉलरला, किंवा तू त्यांचे ऍक्शन मी सांगतो का? तो म्हणतो मी ऍक्शन वगैरे काही सांगत नाही. मी सांगतो की ह्या बॅट्समनचा वीक पॉईंट हा आहे, या बॅट्समनला फिल्डर इकडे लाव आणि तिकडे बॉल टाक. आता कसा टाकायचा ते तुझ्यावरती आहे. But if I tell him that pull the chain, his position has to be this and that, then he won't be able to bowl where I want him to bowl.
He'll keep obsessing about the small details and lose his mind.
दिलीप सर, विनायक सर, आपण मुंबई क्रिकेटबद्दल आपण बोललो. आता मुंबईच्या परफॉर्मन्सबद्दल तुम्ही बोलला. काही महिन्यांपूर्वी मुंबई क्रिकेट असोसिएशनची निवडणूकही झाली. सध्या ॲडमिनिस्ट्रेशनमध्ये पॉलिटिकल म्हणजे राजकारणी येत आहेत. तर तिथे खेळाडू असणं तुम्हाला महत्त्वाचं वाटतं का? कारण की खेळाडूंच्या समस्या किंवा स्पर्धा आणि खेळाबद्दल जास्त जाणतात. तर सध्या पॉलिटिकल म्हणजे जे राजकारणी आहेत त्या ॲडमिनिस्ट्रेशनमध्ये खूप दिसतात. याबद्दल तुमचं मत काय? तिथे ते असायला हवेत की नको?
नाही, राजकारणी ते राजकारणाला काही करायचं असेल क्रिकेटमध्ये तर येऊन दे ना, तर त्याचा काही इश्यू नाही आहे. पण मला असं वाटतं की क्रिकेटर जिकडे असेल अँड इफ इज अ गुड ॲडमिनिस्ट्रेटर अँड इफ इज अ क्रिकेटिंग बॅकग्राऊंड इट डेफिनेटली हेल्प्स टू टेक गुड क्रिकेटिंग डिसिजन्स असं मला वाटतं. पण राजकारणी कारण कोणी इलेक्शन लढवू शकतो आपल्या ह्याच्यामध्ये, क्रिकेटमध्ये कुठे फॉर दॅट मॅटर, अँड दे कॅन कम इफ दे वॉन्ट टू डू समथिंग फॉर क्रिकेट दे मोस्ट वेलकम.
Dilip, Australia is coming for a 4-test series. What's your take on that?
Well, India is one of the best in the world at the moment, and I'm sure, and because of IPL, our players have improved so much. So people are saying IPL is IPL that. I would like to believe that if you are playing with or against the top players of the world, then you can improve very quickly because you see their work ethics and how they prepare for the game and all kinds of the things like and if you are playing with the best player all the time, then you have to improve yourself as well, and that enhances the quality of the game overall. And I'm sure India will do very well against Australia. Australia is a good side, there's no question about it. It will be good game of cricket.
Dilip, I'm Kanchan. So now we are going to organize a Women IPL in March. What are your expectations in terms of sport and IPL auction, players auction and sponsorship?
Excellent, I would say, because I remember I was sent to Lords in 2007 when I was selector, and Indian women team was playing against England for the first time at Lords, and I was there for a day, and I watched them. But since then, I have seen there's a huge improvement, massive improvement, and now a women's team now at the moment is maybe in top 3 in the world. And it's good that IPL will take place and they will get the opportunity to play alongside the best players in the world. Because if you see, they play in Big Bash as well in Australia, so they get opportunity to play in India as well. And of course, there's big money in the game as well now, because they get the same amount of money what men get. So that's a very good sign, and I would like to compliment BCCI for that. And I hope this IPL takes place now.
Yeah, sir. Basically, like during your playing days, whenever it was about question was about Indian batsmen playing spin, so it was like easy. So we were very confident. But it is not the same right now. So what mistakes our batsmen are making now? What will be your advice for them? What is
That's a
happening?
good question, Sanjeev. The thing is that we could play a lot of club cricket, a lot of domestic cricket. I mean, almost all the matches, and we had the best spinners that time. So we could play them day in day out. And later we came to a stage where to get out to a spinner is a crime. I mean, that was in our mind. I think whether it's Abdul Qadir or whoever for that matter, Against us, Abdul Qadir used to play only 2 test matches, first 2 test matches, and he would get dropped. So unless you play domestic games, then only you can, get to play against good spinners, and you can spot good spinners as well.
दिलीप सर, शॉर्ट बॉल अभी भी
The last question. This would be the last question. Sorry.
शॉर्ट बॉल अभी भी भारत के जितने बैट्समैन हैं उनके लिए एक समस्या है. हालांकि सूर्य कुमार यादव की टेक्निक ही अलग है, तो वो अच्छी तरीके से खेल लेते हैं, लेकिन आज भी शॉर्ट बॉल पे हमने देखा है कि इंडियन टीम जो है वो पूरी डगमगा जाती है. क्यों ऐसा?
ऐसी बात नहीं है कि डगमगा जाती है. Indian players also play very well. Of course, there are some players who are not happy with the short ball, but if you're not happy with short ball, then you can always manage. You can take a single and go to non-striker's end. You can manage that. But the thing is that Indian team is doing very well. I think they play short ball very well, because if you see international cricket, I think how you play the short ball is very important. And a lot of players in the past, those who did extremely well in domestic cricket, I think were not very comfortable with short ball. So they lost out. So how you face short ball in international cricket I think is very important. And Indian players are doing extremely well. If you say the way they play in IPL, of course I don't want to compare IPL with Test match cricket, but many of them I have not seen anybody that's flinching or having poor technique. I think they are playing extremely well.
So I guess that brings us to a close of this session. Thank you again, Mr. Vengsarkar.